Hello students, today we will learn Section A, Early Societies, Chapter 2, From the Beginning of Time. In these sections, we will first learn the beginnings of human existence from the remote past, millions of years ago. We will learn how humans first emerged in Africa and how archaeologists have studied these early phases of history from remains of bones and stone tools. Archaeologists have made attempts to reconstruct the life of early people to find out about the shelters in which they lived, the food they ate by gathering plant produce and hunting animals, and the way in which they express themselves through fires and languages. And finally, we will learn the lives of people who live by gathering and hunting. Today can help us to understand the past. Prehistoric period means the man had lived on the earth for millions of years before he developed the art of writing. That period is known as prehistory or prehistoric period. We have little knowledge about the prehistoric times until the 19th century, when the archaeologists began excavations at the places where the prehistoric men might have lived. These excavations lead to discovery of human fossils, old tools, pottery, and bones of ancient human beings and animals. So the archaeologists, and the scholars have brought the light the way men lived in the prehistoric age by gathering the informations from the human fossils, all tools, pottery, and bones of ancient human beings and animals. The scholars are of the view that the story of man began about 3 million years ago. Now the next is work of archaeologists on prehistory. So before we proceed, we have to know what are archaeology, So archaeology is the study of history and culture of ancient societies by examining the remains of the buildings, domes, tools, pottery, and other objects. It mostly concerned with the human activities in the prehistoric period. And who are the archaeologists? The scholars, The scholars who study the remains of prehistory and create the history of this period are called the archaeologists. Now the explorations by the archaeologists. Many things which could help us in acquiring knowledge about the culture of early men were damaged or perished within a short period. There are, however, certain factors which help us to preserve from the preservations the articles which could otherwise perished in short period. Even in the desert with the dry climate in Egypt, the relics of the past have not perished. They have rather remained well preserved. The dead bodies of the ancestors of the Egyptians, known as the mummies, along with the fine clothes, ornaments, furniture, and other valuable articles, have been found intact in the cave inside the pyramids of Egypt. The next is the methods of excavation. Archaeologists, they dig the places concerned with patience and utmost care with the specific tools. First, they remove the dust from above and around the object with a knife and then brush them. They do not disturb their original form. So how do the archaeologists, date their finds? The archaeologists use various methods to determine the dates of the object they discover. First is the coins of the emperor ruler help the archaeologists to find the approximate ruling period of the king. It becomes difficult for the archaeologists to trace the period of the king without the help of any inscriptions. Number 2 is science has greatly helped in finding out how old the object is. Physics hold that all things, whether plants or animal, contain radioactive carbon called carbon-14. The radioactive materials are those which send out the smallest particles at a fixed rate that can be measured. When the plants and animals are alive, they absorb the same amount of carbon-14 from the atmosphere. They lose through radioactivity. But when they die, they stop absorbing carbon-14 but continue to lose it. When the archaeologists, get hold of an object of antiquity, they measure the carbon-14 content in the body to determine its date. This system of finding out the time of an object is called carbon-14 dating. Carbon-14 dating, scientists can tell whether a skeleton is 3 million years old or a year old. Number 3 is the geologist. Geologist means those who study the substances such as rocks or soils in order to find out the origin, structure, and history of the earth. The geologists, try to know the history of the earth from the layer of the rocks. These are the few important points, to remember so that it will be easy for you to understand the chapter.